Hello, Ashley. How are you? I want to talk about your poster, so I have you queued up right here. And then over here, I've got the project specs. So maybe we don't fit so well, but I'll just go back and forth. We'll go back and forth from the specs to your poster. So you can see my points that I'm going to try to make here. Okay, so let's take a look at the project specs first, Ashley, and let's look at how we have the construction of the poster as related or as they are following the project specifications. Your selected object must be a dominant image. Make it big, crop it, part of it. You do not necessarily need to see all of the communication of what it is. Okay, so what's the dominant image? Let me explain why I'm asking. Okay, this image here is a full bleed image, and it's at the top of the page. So one would assume that that's going to be the dominant image. But why is there some confusion? There's some confusion because not everyone reads a page from top to bottom. It depends on your audience. You want a poster to be looked at as a whole. Right now, you're having all this attention drawn to the top. I do want a dominant image. However, this area right here is also drawing a lot of attention because this area is basically the same size as this area. Okay, so even though these are three separate items, they're close enough in what? In proximity that they are creating this illusion that they're one. Okay, that's what we learned about proximity last week. Remember, the closer things are grouped together, the more they become one. All right, so we have that. We have this image, which is also pretty large in comparison to this image. So that's where I'm saying there's a little bit of confusion as to the intent that you're trying to draw with your visual hierarchy based on your images. Okay, so that's what I'm talking. That's what I want to talk about when I'm talking about the dominant image. What is the dominant image? So another point that's diluting your message a little bit is this right here, this Lorac Pro. Okay, design in everyday life. This is not. It's not clear. Okay, so in other words, the holding a Lorac Pro, but I have no clue what a Lorac Pro is, and that doesn't look like lipstick to me. So you're probably communicating to your audience here, which is your class. Your audience isn't women specifically. You see what I'm saying? So this poster should be really self-explanatory right down to the images. Okay, that to me is not recognizable as lipstick. I may be way off the mark, but I don't think that's a classic picture that we get when we think of lipstick. All right, so I've got some suggestions, and I want you to take a look at this. Well, you know what? Let's go through the rest of the specs first. Your poster must include the image results from the use of your object, the results of the use. So if you have example, if for example, if you have a pair of wire cutters, you would show something that was trimmed, like the flowers. Or if you had um, um, or if you had, if you had a paintbrush, you would have show a picture of a painting. Okay, so I don't know what is the after picture here. I don't know where's the after picture. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not clear as to what the after picture is. So that's a little convoluted as well. You must include two components for your selected object, and if your selected object, for example, is a mountain bike, the two components. So you have, what are your components? You have the cap and you have the tip. Okay, so are these interesting shots, Ashley? I mean, I think you're shooting these yourself, which is really awesome. Kudos to you. Good job shooting your own work. I'm guessing that's your hand right there. Um, so yeah, so I'm guessing that's your hand. I'm guessing that's you based on your picture. So um, so that's awesome. I just want to say that's awesome that you're shooting your own images. But are these the most interesting images that you could use? I'm going to explain that further in a second. Okay, so if we look at images that we could use to really express the message, present a message expressively so that we can work with typography based on that. Okay, right now you have a very pedestrian layout, as it were. Okay, I'm not necessarily seeing a grid in action here, and I say that because if I lay down a grid on this, and this is just a basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, this isn't even set here evenly, but I'm looking to see if there's any indication that there's a grid at use here, and I'm not seeing any indication. I'm seeing a little bit of alignment here, but not enough to indicate. There's no alignment here with anything. There's no alignment. There's no play with your type. This is it's just very pedestrian, very, very. Let me show you what I mean. And I'm not knocking your work. I'm trying to help you make it better. Okay, so let's show you what I mean. I did a little research, and let me show you what I found. I found a really interesting image. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about mixing type with image. Okay, so this is an example of mixing type with image, and this would be an example called the mimicry, and that's covered in where is it? Visual mimicry and correspondence. So check that out. That's a technique that you could use here. Let me show you another really super interesting image. Oh, where the heck is it? That one right there. I mean, these that could really be the result, the after image, okay? It also could be the dominant image. And I think that it would help if that dominant image were something that were really super recognizable, okay? See what I'm saying? Let me get rid of your grids there. Okay, and also, I think that don't be afraid to use commercial images. Okay, you don't need to worry about copyright in school. I mean, it's important. Credit your images always, but you don't have to worry about shooting your own images all the time. I'm saying that because, I just want you to think about, other ways that you can do your image search, etc. So, what I'd really like to see is I'd like to see a really dedicated look at typographic hierarchy and at visual hierarchy based on your images. Okay, and just keep working. Work on that grid. It's really super important. Actually, it's really super important because even though if you use a grid, your work is going to appear to be very comfortable because it's going to be mathematically placed, and the eye is going to pick up those mathematical relations, and it's going to be very comfortable, as opposed to just placing things randomly. Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I know that you can work on this a little bit, and I think it'll be a lot better based on my comments and based on what I've seen you do before. So let's just take it from here, okay? Ashley, thanks very much. Sorry, I didn't mean to take a whole 8 minutes, but all right, thanks, Ashley.